God, we're going to have peace. In him, we can overcome. In him, all things are possible. And I'm not saying like we can turn our arms into wings and like fly to the moon, but we can overcome sin and hardship and challenge and face life with resiliency and with God on our side, like he has overcome the world. Aloha, everyone. Welcome to All Things Possible. We are so beyond stoked to be here. This has been a dream for years, now coming to fruition. Adam hustled hard the last 6 months to get us here, and
we're stoked. And yeah, thanks for joining us on this journey. I know Bethany's been, dropping hints here and there, saying like something's coming,
Yeah.
and we're just pumped to get this out to y'all. So all things possible. Are things all possible?
Yeah. So when we were trying to figure out a name for the podcast, we were going back and forth between All Things Possible or the Bethany Hamilton podcast, or we had another one, the Impact Zone. And I just really wanted something with a positive beat to it, and All Things Possible is just like, that's what my life has kind of been about. Like, instead of thinking of what's impossible, I've thought a lot about what is possible, and I've been willing to try and put myself out there and do things that I hadn't seen other people do. And so All Things Possible, and then we'll riff into the faith aspect and element of it too, but just reminding you guys that you can overcome the many challenges that your life will face. And that's what this podcast is going to be about. It's going to be about how we can overcome, adapt, make the most of life, face our challenges, live in faith, trust in God. What does God say about all these different challenges that we face in our life? And how can we face this along the way? And
yeah, so we're praying that this is a space and a time for you to listen and reflect. The reason we really like the Impact Zone, if you're in the video behind us, we're looking at a gnarly wave behind us, and it's the Impact Zone is there. And there is like where life is just crazy. You're getting tumbled, tossed around, and we all have those moments in life, and it's hard to like go through that and know what to do. Which way is up, which way is down, and things just don't feel right, and it's hard. So where we are now, like in this relation to the wave, is in the calm, in the still, in a place where you can reflect and have a moment to just take a deep breath, know that things are okay, and reflect on that together. And a lot of these challenges, like, you don't want to face them alone. You need someone, whether it's your wife, a good friend, someone to do it with you. And so we're encouraging, like, this podcast is going to be a place where we have conversations that are about difficult things. Bethany has gone through some of the most difficult things in life and has overcome and learned a lot. And we all have those opportunities to do so. And we're just happy to share the wisdom that you've learned, that we've learned together, and bring on people that have also gone through hard stuff.
And have other wisdoms that we don't have. We'll be learning with you guys. And I wanted to also share, too, one of my all-time favorite Bible verses, John 16:33. I have said these things to you, that in me you will have peace. In the world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And when I think of the Impact Zone, like Adam was just saying, it's like God tells us we're going to have challenge. In this world, you will have tribulation or challenge and hardship along the way, because that's a result of sin. And so we'll definitely be diving into a lot of faith, like what it is to live a life of faith, how to live with sin in the world, how to be gracious, to understand God's grace on our life. And that verse finishes with, "Take heart, I have overcome the world." And so in God, we're going to have peace. In him, we can overcome. In him, all things are possible. And I'm not saying like we can turn our arms into wings and like fly to the moon, but we can overcome sin and hardship and challenge and face life with resiliency and with God on our side. Like he has overcome the world and all the pain and hardship that we may face. And so that verse to me is such a affirmation of like, well, we are going to have challenge. That's just inevitable. But it doesn't mean it has to stop us or hold us back or, lead us to a dark place. But we can overcome these dark places and these sins and these, the many challenges that life throws our way. And it's because of Christ, because of Jesus and his death on the cross. So if you don't know much about the Christian faith, we are inviting you to jump in on our calls. We'll try to make it as, understandable and inviting, because I look at the world around us too, and I think there's not a lot of grace out there. There's not a lot of, it's a lot of like, screw you, like,
Very black and white.
Bitter, anger, black and white. And yet, when you look at the foundation of the Christian faith, it's about grace. It's about love and forgiveness. And yet a lot of the world misunderstands this because there's also a lot of boundaries built in to protect us that God calls upon our life. But those boundaries are actually a major blessing. But much of the world just wants to overlook that because that is our sin nature. We want to just do what we want to do. We want to speak our truth. We want to do what feels good in the moment. It's a continual journey.
Yeah. And as mom, father, husband, wife, now we're like navigating all these things and encountering them so that we can talk to our children about them and prepare them for the world. And where we find those boundaries, where we find our instruction is in God's word. And so we're constantly trying to, carve time out to get in God's word together on our own as well. But, like these tough challenges we're facing, the things that are being thrown at us in the world, like we not only have to like bolster ourselves up, but we have to prepare ourselves and share that with our family and make the right choices that are going to, protect them and they're going to like, strengthen their faith. And so, yeah, a lot of the topics I feel like we're going to be talking through is about they're hard and they're going to be, not just like fluffy wuffy, like you remember that one time? I mean, maybe we'll talk about some fun surf stuff, but
we'll like dive into talking about making Soul Surfer, our run on the Amazing Race, some of those fun things along the way. We'll definitely do some fun episodes, but the core of our heart behind this is just diving deeper. Like I've just felt this need to go deeper as in my own life, but also I've been so active on social media the last 10 years and I've been kind of burnt out by it. Like I'm just like, this feels so just blah, like I'm just over it. And so to me, the podcast is a step in a new direction of we're going deeper. We're going to
you want to talk about the things you're passionate about, right? And that we're passionate about.
And I think a lot of these issues require long-form conversation, and social media doesn't necessarily offer that.
Yeah.
Though we will have this on YouTube and whatnot, and we'll share snippets on social media. But I just think, like for me personally, I just wanted to give more. I wanted to give that something that's purely a gift and that can truly change people's lives and just be a blessing and also be challenged myself. Like I know I'm going to get super challenged in our conversations in the podcast and I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So I was just thinking like going back like 12 years ago when my friends like set us up on a blind date and some people were like, "Oh, you don't know who Bethany is?" Like, I don't know who Bethany is. Like, And they're like, you should watch Soul Surfer and like get to know her. I was like, no, I want to get to know her, for who she is. And so anyways, we hang out at the beach with a few friends, and Bethany, I guess we're just diving into like a how we met story real quick.
No. Let's not go into all the details because I want to save that for a full-blown
yeah, good idea.
episode where it's just all that.
But what I saw right away is like Bethany wasn't someone who's just like surface level, like fun and sun and surfing. Like maybe what we see on social media, sometimes it looks like we're the family that just is in the beach all the time.
I like to be in the sun, and I want to be in the surf, and
Yeah.
I do pursue fun a lot. Like that's a high priority in our lives. My mom taught me that though. Both my parents actually, my mom and dad both taught me like play hard.
Yeah. So, that's important. And it's one of our values is to make sure our family's out there having fun together. But instantly from the time I met you, I knew that you thought deeper and you took life, more seriously. And that's probably because the experiences you had. And, even to this day, like you challenge me so much to think deeper about how we are doing things as a family. How are we approaching our health? How are we approaching our faith and giving our children, the faith instruction they need. And it's like, a lot of that falls into my court too, but, we do this together as a family.
Teamwork.
So like, I think that's cool. Like, that's why we're here together having these conversations, is because these conversations are super important to have. They're deep. And I know that we could go in many directions, but I feel like this is so important for our family, and I hope it's important for your families as well and the relationships you have, because there's so much pulling at us nowadays.
Yeah.
There's so much trying to just take you to, I don't know, places where your mind just is like, what is going on out here?
Yeah.
And what are you grounded in? And we need to stay grounded in God's word, and we need to find ways to be intentional about everything that we do. Because if we're not, we're going to get blown away with the cultural winds and be like just lost.
Totally.
You know that Bethany and I are incredibly intentional about how we approach our lives, from the content we consume all the way to the foods we eat.
When we started researching the food industry, it got us fired up to seek responsible, clean, and sustainable food sources.
Did you know that over 85% of the grass-fed beef in stores is imported and is labeled as product of the USA since it's packaged here? The truth is, much of the meat on the grocery store shelves is filled with things you don't want. Antibiotics, hormones, questionable origins, and even harmful seed oils.
That's why we choose GoodRanchers.com, the brand that stands for American quality and integrity.
At Good Ranchers, they do things the right way. All their meat is born, raised, and harvested in the USA.
When you buy from Good Ranchers, you're not just getting better meat, you're standing with American farmers, ranchers, and families who have been feeding this country for generations.
Good Ranchers products are free from hidden additives. There are no antibiotics ever, and no added hormones, and no seed oils. Just one simple ingredient you can read, and that's meat. But the best part, Good Ranchers delivers straight to your door. No more last-minute grocery store runs, long lines, or wondering if you're getting the best quality.
Can we just say, too, their chicken nuggets are incredible. So just high-quality American meat shipped directly to you. As long as you're located in the lower 48, are you ready to get the quality your family deserves? Right now, you can subscribe to any Good Ranchers box and get $40 off your first order when you use my code Bethany at checkout. That's GoodRanchers.com, and by using my code Bethany, you'll get $40 off your first box of America's best meat. So let's be intentional about our life and be intentional about what we put in our body. Let's go to GoodRanchers.com today. Hey everyone, did you know we have a private community to empower families?
We know life is full of challenges and cultural norms can be leading us everywhere but the right path.
Families are stretched thin, teens are struggling, and staying anchored in faith can be really tough.
That's why we created something transformative, an online community designed to strengthen families, deepen relationships, question cultural lies, and encourage you to grow together in your faith.
Live shows with Adam and I, expert interviews, Bible studies, and fun family challenges, giveaways, and even a brand new podcast that you're listening to. We're here to equip you with the tools to thrive.
Our community will also be the first invited to our in-person epic family surf events that we will create memories that will last forever.
Join us on this journey. When you sign up for an annual membership, you will get free access to our top life courses, and you are automatically entered for a chance to win a trip to 4-3 to Kauai.
Awesome. So gather your family and join us for deeper connection and faith-filled fun in your home. Click the link to learn more, and we'll see you inside.
And even like I look back at my 13-year-old self or my childhood self, the way my parents prepared me for when I did lose my arm, they were pretty intentional in a lot of ways. My dad was very adamant to get us to church. My mom would pray with me and read the Bible with me very frequently. And that made such an impact and helped me to develop my own faith. And then when I went and, lost my arm as a 13-year-old, how I would face that time was so much shaped by what my parents did in those younger years and continued to do as I was, facing that hardship. And I think so many people are just, they're constantly coming to me like, how could you get back in the ocean with sharks? Or, how could you, even think about surfing with one arm? Like, I'd go the other direction. And I don't know, I guess that's just how God made me, but he put that desire to want to surf and to push myself and to overcome those fears along the way. And I definitely know that while surfing has taught me a lot, it's pushed me and molded me in so many amazing ways, as sports often can do. My faith has been my rock and my foundation through the many trials and hardships that started so young. And then that kind of led me to our family to making Soul Surfer, the book, which eventually became Soul Surfer, the movie. Then fast forward, I meet Adam, and then we go on to make my documentary Unstoppable.
Which was supposed to be just highlighting how gnarly of a surfer you are, but we started having children in the mix.
So then I went from childhood to motherhood and surfing and all the triumphs and just go for it moments in my life on a surfboard in particular. And here we are today launching a podcast, and I'm super pumped.
And we now have 4 children, so we're balancing a lot. We got a lot on our plate, but this is so important to us. And it started becoming a passion about a few years ago. We had a mentorship program, and you have a deep, passionate heart towards young women and encouraging them, and specifically modeling after that mother-daughter relationship that you had with your mom. So that was a beautiful time. And now we've kind of, that was a very we wanted to support the whole family, not just mother-daughters. That is important, but
I loved showing up. I loved everything about it, being a part of it. It was such a special bonding and time to overcome and dive deeper into their faith along these young girls alongside of their moms. And it's interesting, having worked with so many teenage girls now, just seeing the many challenges we're facing today. And I don't know. I just feel like there's an endless need for support. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there, but I feel like there can't be enough because there's billions of people in the world that need encouragement, need help, need support, need love, need God's grace, need faith. And that's kind of where we're coming from, is just going deeper and giving something that's meaningful, enriching, inspires you to overcome, inspires you to hold tight together as a family if you are, married and, have children. But we'll also do a lot that will be open to really anyone. It's going to be, we'll just go and kind of pursue a lot of different topics, and all with the heart of like getting healthier though. That's been a theme in my life, is I've just always been super passionate about health. I started at 16 years old. I had a non-hydrogenated oil club with my friends. We weren't eating hydrogenated oils, so that meant no more Oreos. And fast forward, I've been on such a cool journey with health, and I want to raise really healthy children, and I even want to support Adam in his health and myself.
Thank you.
So that we can thrive and overcome. And I'm not talking just nutrition and lifestyle, but like
Holistic.
mental, emotional, like holistic health.
Spiritually,
holistic health is tackling all the elements that make our health. And so mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, nutritional, all the things. So we hope to challenge you guys in some areas and just bring insight, education, understanding, because when you have education and understanding, that is what empowers you to make better choices, to make shifts in your household that will make everybody's health better.
Bethany will like float things over to me because I personally don't have social media, and like, but Bethany is like, social media will send her like some you've trained it.
I
algorithms
try to
like,
train my algorithms.
Yeah, so like it'll push her like, oh, this parasite cleanse, and she's like showing me this. I'm like, okay, I gotta study this. So, we make these decisions.
We're on a parasite cleanse right now. That's why we're looking extra glowing. Like, I'm feeling good right now. We're on day 4 of our parasite cleanse. So maybe at some point we'll get into the nitty gritty details of that.
But like, it's like, why do we do these things?
Yeah.
When you're feeling better, you can show up better, and you really pour into your family, pour into your children in a beautiful way. I mean, not to make excuses, but it's like, it's hard though if you're feeling sluggish and tired to like make that extra step to read that devotional at bedtime when you just want to go to bed. And so it does trickle into everything. So looking at your life holistically is so important. And so I'm excited. I think it's going to be pretty awesome to have these convos.
I'm pumped. I am pumped up. Let's go.
Let's go.
Anything else we want to share on this kind of opening intro episode? Yeah, I mean, fast forward, what are we up to? We have 4 children, and partially why, like, I've been wanting to start this for 3 years, but we've been just busy having babies. And so our youngest is 1.5 years now, and I feel like she's getting pretty independent. So it feels like we can pawn them off with grandpa and grandma for a bit.
This is like our daytime.
This is our
right
date.
Now,
so you guys are just,
third wheeling with us because with having young children, like, I'm sure young parents can relate. Like, it's pretty full on.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you downplay it, but it's like, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, and there's definitely been seasons where we are feeling run down and ragged. Yeah. And so I feel like we're kind of heading into a better season as far as energy and like mind space and capacity.
And it's not like we choose a stagnant lifestyle because we're always on the go. Like, I mean, not only do we love being in the ocean and surfing, you're very passionate. I mean, both of us together, like, passionate about sharing the message of overcoming and adapting. So we find ourselves on the road quite a bit, showing up at like fundraisers or
Yeah, I've
company
been doing
events.
like motivational speaking. So I'm speaking at various events. So we've been traveling for speaking, and we just launched our private community, which has been another passion project to help unite families and empower families to flip the cultural norms on their head and walk towards faithfulness and
yeah.
health and just overcoming in a God-centered way. And so that's a new phase we've launched as well. And
And we love like participating with people in that way, like with our live Q&As. Like it's cool to like get questions and interact on a level where we can actually, see what other people are going through and feel like, I don't know, I feel like we get supported too through that, and we learn from others, and it's a cool journey and it's growing. It's not like perfect right now, like with our community, but we're learning, and we want to provide as much value and resources so that families can feel supported when you're making these tough decisions, whether that's choosing to homeschool or choosing to limit or even get rid of screen time in your family. That's a big one. And we're going to be talking through this, and we just want to be a support to y'all. And
welcome to All Things Possible. We're so pumped to be here. Looking forward to this journey with everyone. We would appreciate your support if you can like, subscribe, comment, send it to your friends. Like anything, just getting the message out there is, part of how you can grow this empowering movement. And so we appreciate your guys' support and encouragement and cheering us on along the way.
Thanks so much. Aloha.